individuals with autism find very comforting and relaxing. There was one at North Public School for a few years. Unfortunately, North Public School closed down and has been redeveloped into something different. And as far as I'm aware, there's nothing of that nature for public use. Most of the parents that I spoke to have students who are currently in school. So they're still getting that, because I know Holy Trinity has one. That's where my daughter attends. And I believe Simcoe Composite has one as well. So students are getting use of them while they're in school, but once they leave school, that opportunity is no longer available to them. We'd like to see space for a program like Crossing All Bridges and or the Fusion Center in Ingersoll. I think, I was talking to other parents, I think Peter Black was the one who visited the Fusion Center. It offers art activities, business and life skills training, cooking, music programs, and has a multimedia IMAX studio for those who are not athletically inclined, because that's where my daughter fits. She will go in a pool, and for exercise, we make her do those things for fitness, but her interests lie elsewhere. And I know there's a lot of other young people and young adults, the same as for them. A facility of this nature would ease the burdens that families of special needs individuals currently face. Burdens of traveling long distances for opportunities and activities, and the financial burden that accompanies that travel. It would also provide a feeling that there is a place in our own community that accepts and supports our family members. To me, this is what opportunity and inclusion looks like. Opportunity that I hope will lead to an increased quality of life and happiness. Thank you for your time.
Questions from council? If not, thank you very much for your deputation and keep up the good work.
Thank you.
Someone to move, Councillor Wells, move the deputation. Those in favor? That is carried. Moving on to John Aarons. Are you available? Is John here? Or is someone going to fill in? Are you Angela Bonamici or someone?
Mici.
That's all right?
Bonamici.
Bonamici. Sorry. I'm not Italian.
It's close. So good afternoon, Council. I am Angela Bonamici from IBI Group, and we are based out of Hamilton. I have worked alongside John Arians of our office and the Community Hub Partners Group to help create a potential vision for the Community Hub. Back in October 2016, John Arians presented to Council on behalf of the Community Hub Partners. The Partners Group consisted of Fanshawe College, Zatia Group, High Points Development, Care Norfolk, and Norfolk Council. This was then coordinated by Chris Baird of the County of Norfolk and John Arians and myself. The October meeting resulted in Council receiving our presentation and deferring the Community Hub to be considered with the Recreation Master Plan. Today, staff's direction is to investigate the feasibility of a new multi-use recreation facility, including the concept of a community hub. What is typically included in a community hub? Typically, it's a community center / senior center, arenas, library, outdoor play equipment and fields, a swimplex, art center, daycare, senior support services. But this should be stated that this is only a typical list of what a community hub could include, and ultimately what ends up in the hub is what facilities are needed by the municipality. So once again, community need is what determines what will be in the facility. We also showed in our concept back in October that this facility could be a phased project. Not everything needs to be built at one time. It is a big cost to put out. And so by phasing it, you get what is immediately needed built right away, and as time goes on, you help spread the cost of the hub. What are the benefits of a community hub? They're more efficient use of recreation. It's a one-stop shop for recreation. You can create a local a focal point and a community identity with it. It services the entire county. If you put it in a central location, it provides reasons to stay in the community. It adds to your quality of life, and it creates economic spin-offs. What economic spin-offs? You would attract new businesses. You would encourage existing businesses to stay and expand rather than relocate elsewhere. You would create a catalyst for Fanshawe to expand and add student housing. You would expand tourism through tournaments and competition. You have the opportunity to do trade, community center, and show potential. And you could create an attractive site for senior housing. Locational considerations for a site. You would want it to be urban because it would be fully serviced. You would want a central location. You would require about 20 to 30 acres depending on what the community needs. You would want to be close to Fanshawe to have that partnership. You would want to be on an arterial/collector road and potentially linked to a trail system. Back in October 2016, when we presented, we had a perfect storm scenario. The community partners group, we had Fanshawe College, the owners of the subdivision, Zatia Group, a builder for student housing through High Point Developments, and Care Norfolk. We had a potential site of 20 to 30 acres, which would be fully serviced, and we created a concept that is completely flexible to what the community needs. Here's the concept that we came up, and that was presented in the October meeting as well. What we included in it was many uses. We had a swimplex, an adult living center, and community care center, which within that you could have an arts, daycare, senior support services, meeting and conference rooms, a multi-event arena and gymnasium, which we said you could have ice rinks, you could have an indoor track, you could have a velodrome of sorts. We had a swim block, senior residence, multi-purpose indoor fields where you could play soccer, you could have some sort of golf facility, indoor courts, splash pads, student residence, change rooms, baseball diamonds, soccer field, tennis courts and multi-purpose courts, pump track and skate parks, and even a nice tranquility courtyard. So in conclusion, we do support staff's recommendation today. We encourage council to approve CSD 1702, and we look forward to working with the community that will hopefully result in your facility for 2021. Thank you.
Questions from council? Councilor Brunton.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, through you to Angela. Angela, the plan, could you go back to that other diagram you had there a few minutes ago? That plan there, that's a 20, 30 acre site roughly, is it, or? Well,
I believe it was 25. I'm thinking in hectares right now, so.
But that particular plan
Yes.
could be put on any 25, 30 acres anywhere, and you said if it was serviced, water and sewer, et cetera, correct?
It could. You probably wouldn't have student housing. We
Well, I'm just
we
saying-
include that.
Yeah, but it's the concept is to have a piece of land to put it on, correct?
Yes.
Okay. And do you have any idea, like, the cost of this right here, this one in front of us?
I do not.
No figures at all.
No, we just wanted to create a vision right now. Like,
So nobody has provided you with any figures at all for any parts of it?
no.
Nothing. Eh? Thank you.
Seeing no further questions, thank you very much. I need a mover that to receive the deputation as information. Mayor Luke. All those in favor? That is carried. That Tomlinson? Okay. See on my list here? On this one. Okay, next it's Paula Tomlinson,
Yes.
Welcome.
Thank you. Good evening,
They're
Mr. Mayor.
changing my schedule up left and right here, so I apologize for that.
Good
Thank you.
evening, and members of council. I'm just coming before you today as I've been approached by some of the members of your community who are interested in a community hub to see if my organization would be interested in being part of the conversation. I represent Crossing All Bridges Learning Center. We are a learning center located in Brantford that provides day programming and skill building as well as employment opportunities for adults over 18 living with developmental challenges. For for a great deal of time, we've had a lot of people from Norfolk area who have said there's a great need in your area, and 10% of the students who attend our center do come from Norfolk. So I'm just here as someone who thinks that a community hub is a very good thing for Norfolk. It's a very good thing for communities to have places centered in one area so people can access services at one-stop shopping. So we currently have about 7 families from your region that come to Brantford each and every day. Some of them are finding this very taxing. And over the March break, we've had 5 families that have come to us through Haldeman Norfolk Reach who are looking for opportunities for their individuals once they age out of school. Because once these folks age out of school at the age of 21, they sort of fall into the great abyss, is what parents tell us, particularly when you're doing life skills training. So I'm just here to support the members of the community who asked if I would come and speak to you today and encourage you to look at the opportunity of a hub for your community. And I thank you for allowing me to speak. I'm going to make it short and sweet. That's what they said to do. I like to do what I'm told.
That's a real surprise.
So I'm here to answer any questions you may have. I realize I'm not a face any of you are familiar with, but I am familiar with many of your families that come from your community. So I thank you for the opportunity.
Any questions? Councillor Oliver.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you, Paula. Is your organization based in the Gretzky complex, or where are you physically
we are
located?
on Charing Cross Street in Brantford. We're a lovely story because we are from the grassroots up. 5 families created Crossing All Bridges in 2003. We exist entirely on our own through tuition grants, loans, and fundraising. So we rent space. We are looking at, actually, I'm involved in kind of a few hubs around. They're quite a hot ticket item, and we've met with Karen Petrie. Have you had the opportunity to do that through you, Mr. Mayor, to meet with Karen Petrie from the government who talks about hubs? So we're looking at some opportunities too in the Brant County area. There's 2 that are in the works in our neck of the woods. But no, we're located in rental space at Charing Cross.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
No other questions? I need a mover for the deputation. Councillor Columbus, that we receive a deputation as information. All those in favor? There's been a request for a 10-minute recess. Are we okay with that? All right, thank you. We will be back in 10 minutes.
Thank you.
County home. Norfolk, Norfolk, we know you can't go wrong. Friendly folk of Norfolk, be a stranger along. Norfolk, 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 be a stranger along. On a strip of sandy soil lies a county called Norfolk. It's Ontario, south coast, you know, and it's surely not remote. If you pass through or spend a day or decide to call it home, you'll see why we love it here and are proud to call it our own. Norfolk, Norfolk, a southern county home. Norfolk, Norfolk, we know you can't go wrong with the friendly folk of Norfolk. Be a
Jacob?
chatted with him. We're good. Yeah.
Definitely,
How are you?
I'm good. I'm good.
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 All right. Thank you. How are things? Yeah. Keeping busy. Now, did you? I've been in and out.
But I've seen you
photos.
on the ice before.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Now, did you? I was in. Did you get a chance to speak yet? Or you go? You saved the best for last. Or you saved the best for last?
I recognize this guy for being on the ice. I guess you recognize everybody from the ice.
Pay attention. Our pictures going in the paper, right? Yeah. To play Sunday morning.
On a strip of sandy soil lies a county called Norfolk.
I got too old.
It's Ontario, south coast, you know, and it's surely not remote. If you pass through or spend a day or decide to call it home, you'll see why we love it here.
I had mine.
Norfolk, the southern county home.
Nice and easy. Yeah.
That's not bad.
Norfolk,
10-minute break is all
we
we get, I
know
guess.
you can't go wrong. Friendly folk of Norfolk, you won't be a stranger alone. Taking the small town atmosphere, being amazed at all that we grow. Like our kids that go and see the world and can't wait to return home. Drop a line in a placid lake or stroll along the shore. Take a tour on a peaceful country road. Home to be back for more. From Norfolk, Norfolk, my Cousin County home. Norfolk, Norfolk, we know you can't go wrong with the friendly folk of Norfolk. You won't be a stranger alone. With hard work, we built a dream that only willing hands could do. It's on display at our fall fairs and at all the festivals too. Erie beaches, Carolinian falls, where the flower and dogwoods bloom. Patchwork fields and rolling hills. Norfolk, the southern county home. Norfolk, Norfolk, we know you can't go wrong. Friendly folk of Norfolk, you won't be a stranger alone. Norfolk, 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 be a stranger alone. On a strip of sandy soil, county called Norfolk. It's Ontario, south coast, you know, and it's surely not remote. If you pass through or spend a day or decide to call it home, you'll see why we love it here and are proud to call it home. Norfolk, Norfolk, the southern county home. Norfolk, Norfolk, we know you can't go wrong with the friendly folk of Norfolk. You won't be a stranger alone. Take in the small town atmosphere, be amazed at all that we grow. Like our kids that go and see the world and can't wait to return home. Drop a line in a placid lake or stroll along the shore. Take a tour on a peaceful country road. Bound to be back for more. Of Norfolk, Norfolk, my Cousin County home. Norfolk, Norfolk, With hard work, we built a dream that only willing hands could do. It's on display at our fall fairs and at all the festivals too. Erie beaches, Carolinian forests, where the flower and dogwoods bloom. Patchwork fields and rolling hills, it's just the place for you. Norfolk, Norfolk, a southern county home. Norfolk, Norfolk, we know you can't go wrong with the friendly folk of Norfolk. You won't be a stranger along. Norfolk, 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 you won't be a stranger along. On a strip of sandy soil lies a county called Norfolk. It's Ontario, south coast, you know, and it's surely not remote. If you pass through or spend a day or decide to call it home, you'll see why we love it here and are proud to call it our own. Norfolk, Norfolk, a southern county home. Norfolk, Norfolk, we know you can't go wrong with the friendly folk of Norfolk. You won't be a stranger along. Take in the small town atmosphere, be amazed at all that we grow. Like our kids that go and see the world and can't wait to return home. Drop a line in a placid lake or stroll along the shore. Take a tour on a peaceful country road and bound to be back for more. Of North, on a strip of sandy soil, lies a county called Norfolk. It's Ontario, south coast, you know, and it's surely not remote. If you pass through or spend a day or decide to call it home, you'll see why we love it here and are proud to call it our own. Norfolk, Norfolk, a southern county home. Norfolk, Norfolk, we know you can't go wrong with the friendly folk of Norfolk. You won't be a stranger along. Take in the small town atmosphere, be amazed at all that we grow. Like our kids that go and see the world and can't wait to return home. Drop a line in a placid lake or stroll along the shore. Take a tour on a peaceful country road and bound to be back for more. Of no
Hello, everyone. Do I have a quorum? I guess I do. Folks, we're ready to start. Please take your seats. The next one is JJ Knotts. JJ, you're up. You have 10 minutes. Have you got that on? There you go.
I do now. Thank you. Thank you, Mayor Luke, councillors, and county staff for allowing my deputation today regarding the possibility of further study into the benefits of a community hub for Norfolk. I was one of the presenters at the town hall meeting held last Saturday at Fanshawe, and at that meeting I presented a series of slides that showed calculations of potential energy, maintenance, and operations savings around such a hub facility. Given the current maintenance concerns at the rec center, Talbot Gardens, and the senior center, I think there are a lot of folks that think it's time for such a facility, and I think this was evidenced at Saturday's meeting. In consideration of your time, I'm not going to go through all that detail today that I did on Saturday, so I'll get right down to stating my findings. In the meantime, I left a copy of my slide presentation from Saturday with the clerk so that you have it for reference purposes. So here's the bottom line. I looked into average energy intensities for the various building occupancies based on some sources such as Enercan statistics, data from the latest Environment Commissioner of Ontario report, and I think we can safely make an assumption that 30% energy savings should be more than reasonably achievable through construction of a new facility. And when you look at that and look at the present energy consumption of the facilities in question, this adds up to an energy savings estimated at $166,000 per year. I also reported that the previous consultant reports pinpointed operation and maintenance savings at between $100,000 and $175,000 per year. Again, a very conservative number. When you add the energy and the operation and maintenance savings potential, then this adds up to a total of $266,000 to $341,000 per year. And that's just a start. I say that because we're presently moving into a carbon economy. And for the next 20 to 30 years, we'll all be striving to move toward carbon neutrality and carbon neutral buildings. By utilizing new technologies in this facility, we could create a world-class structure that would reap energy and carbon savings for years to come, and would be an ideal hands-on classroom for students in the energy field. And this is a curriculum that Fanshawe just happens to teach, as well as providing countless benefits to the community it serves. And we're hearing about some of that today with some of the other speakers. Not only that, but there are many incentive programs that could apply to this facility and some new carbon-related project funds as well. And we see that in the Energy Action Plan, which was just published by the province. Millions of dollars at play. Fanshawe College currently offers curriculum specific to energy conservation, as I mentioned, and could prove to be a very helpful partner in the incentive and funding application processes. In conclusion, I think that we in Norfolk need to adopt some new vision. Without vision, there will be no new growth or new vitality for Norfolk, just status quo. I think that there are folks out there, like myself as a taxpayer, I admit, are tired of spending good money after bad in the facilities in question. I think we need to find a new approach and at the same time gain from our investment. I urge the Mayor and Council to move forward with a thorough investigation as to the merits of a new community hub, and I thank you for your time.
Questions from council? I don't see any, so thank you very much, JJ.
Thank you.
I need someone to move the deputation. Councillor Brunton, all those in favor? That is carried. The next one on my list here, hang on, where did I lose it? There it is Mike Mitchell.
Over the break, I just dropped a quick summary of my presentation from Saturday on there that I'll touch on a little bit in my speak here. Hello, Mayor Luke and councilors. Thank you for letting me speak here today. My name is Mike Mitchell. I'm born and raised in Norfolk County, and now I'm part of the minority. Why is that? It's because I left the county to attend university, and unlike most of my childhood friends, I moved back. Of my closest 10 childhood friends, only 2 remain here. This was not such a problem a generation ago. My parents, for example. Almost all of their childhood friends are still in this area. And it's also interesting that a generation ago, we were building new recreational facilities. The rec center built in the 70s, just when my parents were growing up, and the other arenas around the same time. And we had a vibrant economy where young people were able to find work and raise a family. Why would I tie recreation to jobs and prosperity? The National Framework for Recreation in Canada 2015 defines recreation as the experience that results from freely chosen participation in physical, social, intellectual, creative, and spiritual pursuits that enhance individual and community well-being. Furthermore, it went on to explain the benefits of recreation. 1, community benefits. Recreation can help make communities a more vital, cohesive place. 2, social benefits. Recreation changes strangers into neighbors, bringing people together in settings where friendships and abilities can grow in a positive environment. 3, physical benefits. Can be a positive solution to obesity and ill health. 4, psychological benefits. Seek not merely to survive and live a long life, but to live it to its fullest. 5, economic benefits. I'll touch on this a bit later, and there are also many other examples that I found listed. 6, environmental benefits. Protects parks and open spaces as investments that boost health potential for generations. So based on that, it is very clear recreation is not just sport. It has become something that is extremely important to provincial and federal governments, and I think we should follow their lead. I believe we underestimate the power recreation can have on a community. A little bit more about me. I attended Brock University. I graduated from the accounting co-op program in 2009. I went on to obtain what at the time was my chartered accountant designation. One of the best parts about Brock was the amazing rec facility it had there. 3 full-size gymnasiums, we already touched on those, right? The opportunities to play pickup or organized sports there. An Olympic-sized swimming pool with high dives and springboards, and the ability to host competitions. An indoor walking track, many other amenities indoor and out that I won't mention. This truly is a regional facility used by the entire Niagara region, and I never heard anyone complain about the distance they had to travel to get there. I understand Niagara region is larger than Norfolk, but that doesn't mean that we can't create something to the scale we need for the residents that we have. When I finally convinced my now wife to move to Norfolk, one of her concerns were the old, outdated, and broken rec complexes in this area. She works in Brantford, I work in Hamilton. We can both see firsthand the complexes that exist in those 2 cities, plus other counties around like Brant and Haldimand, just to name a few. Haldimand County, for example, has built a brand new rec complex in Dunnville, Caledonia, and Cayuga over the same time frame that we haven't considered any until now. This is a chance to bring us in line with other communities. Sorry. For those who attended the information session on Saturday, you will know that I completed the finance portion. As I'm sure you're all aware, the cost to band-aid our current facilities only to absolute bare minimum standards is very expensive. Based on the report from your staff published last Friday, thanks Bill Curlin, your crew made that a lot easier for me to do my presentation on Saturday, the cost committed needed immediately likely exceed $2 million, just between the senior center, the rec center, and Talbot Gardens. Plus, we're really not sure what the structural issues at Talbot Garden will actually amount to. the options ranging from $718,000 to almost $1.5 million. Following this are committed costs for 2019 of almost $1.5 million, plus another $6.25 million for the rec center in 2020. Then there are still additional costs, $6.5 million approximately to be spent, and now the grand total becomes almost $16 million. I've left out the culvert building for the purpose of my analysis. And I agree, none of these costs are set in stone, but based on the report, I would say it's very reasonable that we use these as future budgeting or cost analysis purposes. And let's quickly run over some other factors. Both the Senior Center and Talbot Gardens, those are prime locations in downtown Simcoe. They could be repurposed for better use. If they were deemed excess, you could sell them off, right? We get property tax revenues after the sale, plus the windfall from the sale. The energy and operational efficiencies that were just mentioned. Revenue generation from the new facility has already been touched on by all our organizations. And then fundraising, also a very reliable option. Communities have been very successful in fundraising in the past. So now let's circle back. It is confirmed that almost $16 million will be spent, bare minimum, in some way, shape, or form on the current complexes. Assuming the funding model that has been available for other similar projects, and acknowledged in the report on Friday, 1/3 federal government, and anyone who just saw the most recent budget, it just announced significant funding for recreation complex of this type, 1/3 provincial government, who formed an entity called Infrastructure Ontario, created to allocate funding to infrastructure projects such as this one, and 1/3 the municipality. So using those figures, if we assume a $35 to $40 million facility, Norfolk's share would be approximately 12 to 13, and that's actually less than what we're planning to spend anyways. So why don't we go bigger? Why don't we assume $50 million? Well, Norfolk's portion of that would be just under $17 million. We've already committed almost 16. That leaves just less than a $1 million funding gap. And then you just add in a couple of the items that I mentioned prior under the other factors, and that deficit is quickly cleared. Now I ask you, shouldn't we change our outlook from we can't afford this project to how can we afford not to complete this project? I want to leave you with a quote from the legendary CEO of General Electric, Jack Welch. Willingness to change is a strength, even if it means plunging part of the company into total confusion for a while. The key to this quote is that you need to be focused on the outcome, not the inputs. As a member of this community for most of my life, and someone who'd like to live here another, hopefully 50 years or more, let's think about the future, but not the future for tomorrow, or the next month, or even next year. Let's think of our future 5, 10, 25 years down the road. Where do we want to be? Where do we want to go? Let's set a vision that is, well, visionary. I ask you today to accept our Norfolk County staff's recommendation of investigating a multi-use recreational center as an alternative to the Band-Aid approach of repairing our old outdated buildings. I also ask you today to consider the opportunity of encouraging Fanshawe to grow in Norfolk and fully integrate into our community and show we think of the college as an extremely valuable business partner. Thank you for your time.
Thank you very much. You're within the range. Actually, you gave me 2 minutes. Anyway, questions? Mayor Luke.
Mr. Chair, what are you saving all that time up for that these people are saving you? Well done, Mike.
We have a whole
time is money, right?
We have a whole lot of agenda to deal with yet tonight. So
well, I know you move it along. Thank you, Mr. Chair. I appreciate that. Mike, thank you very much, and I hope you're here another 50 years as well. I know you made a presentation Saturday. I could not stay to see it. I had previous commitments, so I apologize for that. But I want to ask you a question. Last year, there was brought to this chamber a rec hub project, and when asked to the presenter what the cost was, it was in the neighborhood, I believe, of 70 million. I think that was the number that was given here. I stand to be corrected. And now, for the first time since then, I have seen something you brought forward, which obviously was there Saturday, ranging between 35 and roughly 50 million. What are you basing that on? Is it the concept we saw again here tonight, or is this something that you've come up based on the fact that we have some aging facilities here that we need to replace, not repair?
Yeah, so that's based on the Wilmot facility, which I believe was something around $28 million when it was built. I think it opened something around 2010 or 2011. So we've basically just factored in inflation from there, and that's your range of the 35 to 40. And actually, I've never been given a concrete answer where the $70 million idea came from, so I can't answer that. Sorry.
And if I may, I did, along with Councillor Oliver, I believe, there might have been other councillors that did make the trip to Wilmot, and my questions to the folks up there, I'm getting to a question, I believe, was let's talk about costs. And they did it in two phases, and both phases, starting in 2008 and finished up in 2014, that phase was in the neighborhood of about $42 million, roughly 20 to 21. And in my opinion, based on their one-third funding, they got a heck of a deal, in my opinion. I don't know what it costs today, but you're looking at something in that neighborhood up to 50 million, correct?
Yeah, that's our belief.
Okay, thank you very much. That's what I wanted to be clear. Thank you. I'm feeling a little better.
Councillor Height?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Through you to the deputation, you mentioned the facilities at Brock U, and I was wondering if you happen to know who funded that, because they are nice facilities. I've been there several times.
I don't know the answer to that question.
And who runs it? Do you know that?
That one is run by the university.
By the university?
Yeah, it's right on site.
It would be a safe assumption that the university paid a portion of it?
I would assume so. It's on the university site, right? It'd be separate from the idea that we're proposing, where this will actually be off university site.
Right.
I believe.
Okay, and then on your summary page here, you say that Norfolk its portion is only 12 to 13 million, or 16.67, but that's with the assumption that you're getting funding from the other levels of government. So Ontario has a $319 billion debt, and in the last 2 years, have they given a dime to any of these? Because I haven't yet to see it.
Yeah, they have.
So which ones?
I know I talked to a coworker from Burlington, and I know for a fact that he said the provincial government and the federal government pitched in similar to a project in Burlington somewhat recently. I didn't ask him the time frame, but it's in the last couple of years.
And that's Burlington?
Yeah.
You said? Thank you.
Further? Thank you very much for your deputation, and keep up the good work. Someone to move the deputation and to receive his information? Councillor Black. All those in favor? Carried. Dave Horton. Is Dave Horton, or is there someone here from the MS Society to speak on his behalf? Mr. Horton, thank you very much.
Thank you. And thank you, Mr. Mayor and Chairman and Council for having us today. I'd like to speak on behalf of the Grand Erie chapter of the MS Society of Canada today. And it's just an opportunity to tell you more about what our chapter needs or how they're being met and how these needs could be greatly enhanced. As chair of the Grand Erie chapter, I'm very aware of what goes on in Norfolk County as far as the chapter is concerned. And our community outreach and fundraising coordinator, Amy Martin, has joined me today. And she will continue with the deputation to show our support for this community complex. Be prepared for some energy because Amy has it, and that's why I'm stepping back about 3 feet to let her take over.
Well, thank you very much. Should be exciting. Yes, my name is Amy. I'm Community Outreach with the Grand Erie chapter. I too presented on Saturday at Fanshawe College. I'm very excited to be here today. My job is to bring community awareness to the MS Society and provide programs and services inside our chapter, which is Haldimand, Norfolk, and Brant County. I'm here on a little bit of a broader range as well today. I'm going to chat briefly on behalf of a few not-for-profits that Dave and I have reached out to. But in sum, all of these facilities, which I'll chat to later, as well as the MS Society, are looking to come together and find an integrated, all-encompassing community hub, a space that we can grow and expand and develop on all of our current programs, grow them all. So when we talk about a hub, clearly the possibilities are endless. So I just would like to start kind of narrowing it down a little bit and talk about the current programs and services that we already have. And I know that we are capable of improving them for Norfolk County as a whole. they can clearly all get a little bit better. So first and foremost is our support group. We organize a support group. They're run monthly. It has been argued that these can be hosted anywhere. This is true. We don't dispute that we can host our support groups in the basement of a church somewhere, but Canada has the number one incidence rate of MS in the world. In the entire world, we're number one. So with a increasing membership base in Norfolk County annually, we're needing to step our game up. We're needing to improve the programs and services that we're offering, and that includes growth to our support group and the membership base that we serve. When we talk about hosting a support group in the community hub, the big major red flag that we can just check off is the accessibility issue. This is huge for us. Most people with MS rely on some mobility aid, whether it's a wheelchair or a walker, as well as any other disability that people may be living with. They rely on these mobility aids. So that is ideal for us to have an accessible room or facility that these people can utilize. A lot of them are unable to drive, so to be able to come to a facility and stay there for the day and make use of the facility for its multiple uses is ideal. Possibly they're relaxing in a tranquility park after support group. Maybe they've dropped their kids off because most women are diagnosed in childbearing ages. They've dropped their children off at an early childhood education that's facilitated with Fanshawe College students while they've participated in an athletic therapy session in a therapy pool. So the possibilities are really, really endless. I just ask that you kind of keep your mind open to all the great things that we're able to do inside Norfolk County. Going back to exercise, we know the importance of exercise. This is true for anyone, regardless of your health. So by promoting regular use and programs and services that are going to keep people active and keep people mobile and accelerate their activities of daily living, that's also very, very important for us. We want to expand on our education. Right now we're hosting education seminars that are open to the public, and we have people in excess of 100 people in these rooms that we're renting. We're looking for budget-friendly rooms to rent, that we're providing these services for education groups, and we want a facility that is representative of what Norfolk County can offer. We're bringing specialists, neurologists, pharmacists, naturopaths down to speak to the community on MS, on treatment plans, on trial drugs, and so much more. We want a facility that's representative of what we're doing down here in Norfolk County. And sometimes the places that we're hosting these education seminars can not deliver that message properly. Going back to growth, we want to incorporate Fanshawe College. Let's bring in those personal support worker students and have them learn on location, hands-on. They can sit in, they can listen to a specialist, educate them on MS, and then they can travel downstairs and watch an athletic therapy session in an athletic therapy pool. They can participate in guided meditation or a yoga session to figure out how they can help the people they work with decrease pain and stress. Let's get hands-on, let's get bigger, let's think outside of the box, especially where education is concerned. It is your help through Community Hub that we're asking for you to help us build a larger platform to speak out on, not only for education, but also for community involvement. And this can be a huge, huge, huge service to Norfolk County. Again, accessibility is our key factor, but we look at partnership and we look at some of our other programs and services that are being offered, and we want to decrease the overlap where maybe that smaller platform we're on right now, we're not getting the word out as much. So if we can decrease the same programs that are happening and partner up and offer them together and have a larger database that participates in these programs, that's very exciting to us. That being said, although we lost our friends at the senior support group, I welcome on a volunteer basis doing some programming for the MS Society and the senior support group together. We would love to have them join us at the Community Hub. Fundraising. We want to fundraise. We want to highlight all of the amazing things that we're going to hopefully put into this hub. And I want to do a fundraiser at each and every one of them to bring shed light on what we have and how we can use it as a community. are volunteers, Fanshawe students. We want your help. Volunteering is essential to any not-for-profit. Essential. These students that are coming into Fanshawe College, they are the next generation of volunteers. They're the people that are going to work in these senior support centers that are volunteer run. We need their help. So by integrating them into our programs, we can enhance appreciation of not-for-profits, and they can get a firsthand look at what the services that we're helping people out with, what they are. They can appreciate those a little bit more. So if I just finish with the other not-for-profits that we have confirmed yeses, verbal yeses, written yeses, that they are interested in a community hub, they want to join in the same partnerships, they want to host the same programs, I'll list them off for you. Alzheimer's Society, CNIB, Cancer Society, Behavioral Support Group, Haldeman Abilities, Parkinson's Society, Heart and Stroke, Red Cross, Arthritis, and the Ontario Brain Injury Institute. All of those places are looking to move forward. They want some growth, they want to add programming, they want to partner, and they want to do it in a new community hub. I would encourage all of you to accept the staff report to proceed with the study. This is the legacy for Norfolk County citizens' future. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Questions from council? Seeing none, thank you very much, and keep up the good work. I need someone to move the deputation. Councillor Sonnenberg. All those in favor? That is carried. Moving on to Mark Steffens. You've probably heard this before, but you have 10 minutes.
Okay. The mayor says I can correct you on it, Stevens, but that's fine,
Stevens.
Chair. Mr. Chair, Mr. Mayor, and councillors. I'm here to represent Rolston's IDA Pharmacy and a number of Norfolk-based healthcare professionals that we collaborate with. I'll mention a couple by name throughout my report here. My goal was to provide a unique point on behalf of Rolston's, but I think coming a little bit late in the program that you've allowed us here, I think it's maybe more important for me to enforce and to come from a unique perspective. And what I'm going to be doing is showing Rolston's supporting the need to adopt the recommendation of staff to investigate in depth the opportunity of a multi-use single-venue community hub facility. Quickly on opening a personal background, as we know now, it's Mark Stevens. I've lived the past 33 years in Norfolk County with just a short 4-year absence to attend the University of Toronto. I love Norfolk County. I want Norfolk to be the best it can. It is my belief that the success in one ward in this county is a positive for all residents of the county. I always express the most important contributor to my character and to my beliefs and to what I can provide to make this county a better place to live has been nurtured mainly through my involvement in activities and in athletics, specifically in my case, team sports. It's been minor ball, minor hockey, football, soccer, track and field, volleyball, basketball, wrestling, curling, trying a little golf. It's been playing, it's been coaching. When I grew up and through my early 20s, all my athletics were played in Norfolk County, 4 Norfolk associations. Unfortunately, some things have changed. Our facilities are not at the comparative standard they once were, and training and competing solely in Norfolk is no longer the norm. I wish this to be the norm again for my 5-year-old son and for all the youth of Norfolk. It is my experience that high-level facilities promote high-level programs, increased level of participation, top-level coaching, and community pride. It all starts with a facility and an infrastructure. This leads me to my main points as a business owner and healthcare provider in Norfolk County. 1, concentrating on the improvements that could be realized in attracting people to live and invest in Norfolk County. 2, the positive impact on doing everything possible to keep our residents healthy. Proper access to activity and nutrition is the most important part of promoting well-being from youth all the way to the elderly, and both healthy mind and healthy body equals overall health. Rolston's IDA Pharmacy is a fully independent 4-store pharmacy chain located in Norfolk County. It was established in 1933. Rolston's presently owned by 3 local pharmacists, one of them being myself. All of us grew up and are raising families in Norfolk County and practice with the company actively. We specialize in providing professional pharmacy services to the public and long-term care facilities. We presently have 142 employees, 95 of them are full-time. Includes 25 pharmacists and registered professional technicians and 10 managerial staff. We are proud to be a Norfolk business, and like many other Norfolk businesses. We are very happy that over the last 4 years, we have finally been able to be successful in attracting skilled young professionals to practice at our Norfolk pharmacies, and as well to play a collaborative role with the hospital and others in welcoming new physicians to Norfolk County. Unfortunately, it has come to our attention, while these professionals are starting to choose to work in Norfolk, they are not regularly choosing to live here. On Saturday, Dr. Ferguson of the Norfolk General Hospital's first OB gynecologist, he reported at the Fanshawe College Open House on the weekend that most of his highly skilled hospitalists and surgeon colleagues are choosing not to settle in Norfolk. Only 3 out of our most recent 9 Rolston's young, skilled pharmacists have decided to try Norfolk for living and are renting. The 6 that have actually built, purchased homes, and are on the way of starting families have all done this outside of Norfolk County. Why not Norfolk County? Per Dr. Ferguson and our young pharmacists, Norfolk does not offer the level and availability of recreational opportunities that they are used to. A small example of how Norfolk is missing on residential investment, business investment, and the raising of young families in Norfolk. 2018, the percentage of residents in Haltom and Norfolk counties combined were considered overweight and obese was 64%. The Ontario percentage was 49%. All indications this trend has not been reversed in Norfolk County over the last 9 years. Access to nutrition-based programs and centralized meeting rooms and access to accessible aerobic activities need to be a part of reversing this, as well as everything that's associated with it, which is the higher risk of type 2 diabetes, coronary artery disease, hypertension, dyslipidemia, osteoarthritis, cancers, and gynecological problems such as infertility. Phil Poss, the manager of the Victoria Elder Care, which is a Norfolk-based support agency, communicated to me recently in the lunchroom of our multi-health provider facility that was built in the last 4 years, that the most important parts of keeping ourselves healthy as we age is providing opportunity for the appropriate daily activities and interactions within the community. Gathering places and meeting rooms for such activities as dance programs, specialized senior activity parks. I wish I had a picture of this showing what that means, but that is not seniors in kids' parks. And indoor walking facilities and the opportunity to volunteer are the key to promoting healthy aging. It is our belief that the